I mean, was a goal of yours to commit suicide with drinking?
Yeah, that was my goal at the time because I was frustrated. I didn't know how to get out of my situation. I knew Christ before, and I would talk to him if he was listening, and I would talk to him, and I thought I still had I like that scripture. I don't think highly then I ought to, but I would just talk to him in case he was hearing me. And I told him there's no way I can escape from this addiction from alcohol. Because I was addicted. Physically, I would have sweats and the shakes, hallucinating the exterior. And I would say, I pray with myself. When nobody was around, I would pray, well, there's no way I can escape from this. So the worst, that was my goal, was to just drink myself to death, because I couldn't do it quickly. I didn't have a gun, I didn't, but yeah, that was my goal. That's why when I mentioned, people were telling me, you don't look good, you gotta go to the hospital, I just drank more.
It was right before that time too.
Yeah. Oh.
They had lost, we've lost a lot that
Yeah.
live on the streets. And I would say the fifth or sixth person that was close to Jesse had just died, not long before that.
Yeah.
And he was the one, he got there and saw him.
Yeah.
So I saw him right after, and he just, he just said, do you know John's gone? Do you know John's gone? And I said, yeah. And it wasn't too long after that Jesse ended up. And I do think that's what he was thinking, like, I can't kick this. I don't want to keep living like this. So he really battled it in his mind.
Yeah, so I thought.
But it was very rare to ever talk to Jesse when he wasn't under the influence. He was either knocked out, asleep, and there were many times I'd see him and I'd shake him just to make sure he's breathing, because it got scary. And but now he's so how many years have you been sober now?
4 years, 5 months.
Yeah, in December 24th they'll be.
He said, here's.
Christmas Eve he ended up in the hospital.
My sister kept the paperwork from when I got admitted and released from the hospital. I was admitted in the hospital. I got the paperwork at home. I gotta look it up again, but they picked me up unresponsive on December 25th, 2015, and the time's on there. It's I forget what time it was. I gotta look the paperwork again, but they found, so that was a gift from God. That's what I think He gave me. So I got released from the December 2015, December 25th. I got picked up in the ICU, put in the ICU. February 19th, or I think February 9th, 2016, I was released from the hospital. And I gotta say this, Terrell said, I can't remember this, but she said that I told her I'm done, right?
Yeah.
The reason why I say this, because I told her I was done. I told you once or twice. And I can't remember, and I'm being dramatic, but I can't remember telling her that. But then the scripture that came to thought was, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So within, deep in my soul, deep in my heart, I knew I was done, and that's when I spoke to her. That's what that answered my question. Because I can't remember telling her that. I can't. And so I guess it was true. Because I drank around the clock. You got these others, enough of me. Yeah.
Do any of you have any other questions for either of them before we move on to these two? Or?
We were just asking to get to know them a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll go ahead and ask what they told us a little bit more. Just a quick.
Well, my name is Jesse, and I'm 67, and my life's been drugs and violence. And when they locked me up, they didn't stop nothing. I sobered up and I got more meaner and more deceitful and lying, everything evil, I guess. There was nothing good about me. I learned these things in 25 years. I've been in 25 years with Christ. And everything now is like a whole different world. And the first time I met anything about Christianity, 9th month program, the pro agent offered me a deal, 6 months back in jail, and I knew I was going to die there, or 9 months in the program. And I was a little loaded. So somehow I went there to the program. I've been to enough programs, enough places where I just adjust. Somehow you get smart, or you know how to play the game. You know, I knew all this, but at the program, I went there handcuffs from the pro agent. And I had other plans. I had other schemes. So as I stayed, I knew how to stay a while. I knew how to clean up. That's how deceitful I was. But somehow, Christ got a hold of me in the Word. I started studying this and looking at people and tripping off. Sobriety. Everybody plays games. Everybody's deceitful. Everybody's lying. As long as I stayed there, I started questioning this and questioning people that knew something. Everybody I knew fell. Everybody left. Just the people in the program, people that believed in this. I said, what's so bad about this? I didn't know anything good, but the thing was, I know this wasn't that bad, what I've been through. So I started looking into it and started hanging out. I could have left any time. After a while, I asked God, why am I still here? I never talked to God. I never talked to anybody about nothing. I was just dirty and the violence, hateful. But little by little, God got my heart, my mind. So I stayed 9 months, and then I got a job at the church. So when I got a job at the church, knowing my background, I couldn't get unemployment. I wasn't that stupid. I knew what I learned in jail and stuff. So I kept going back to God. I said, God, you had a plan for me all this time. I had people trying to kill me and stuff. And when I came to Christ, I had some boys on my tail. So I knew it had to be spiritual awakening. I knew I wasn't all that smart. Something woke me up. So I stayed. And I stayed. And I stayed. But I still I wasn't all that. And as I learned more and more, these guys would come and they'd be acting stupid. I'm not a stupid man. I ain't a smart man either. But I know some things. And I tell them, what are you here for? What's happening? They'll say something and they reverse it. They're still playing games. I guess we all do to some extent. We think we know what we know and do what we do, but we don't. Sooner or later, something's going to tickle your mind and you're going to fall. Everybody does. They call it evil. They call it sinful. You're against society's law. You're just bad. You're born in sin. Sin. Good and bad. Who are you gonna follow? Who are you gonna be? You can't be both. And I tried it. And the more I learned about some of these pastors and stuff, and some of them, I had to apply it. You gotta walk it. You gotta test it. Like he tests you. You think you're all that? Something to come. Wow. You knew better. You know what I mean? Sure, we're 10 years old, 15, 20 years old, 25. We ain't learned nothing. When I talk to my grandchildren and stuff, I tell them, you ain't done nothing in life. What are you talking all that upside your neck? What have you done but go to school? And you come in and we take care of you. When you go out there, this is where the rubber meets the road. You're going to be tested what you believe in and what you care for. You guys are doing a good thing by going to nursing all that. caring for other people.
It's the fifth Saturday.
But you got people like us.
Fifth Saturday, I could give you.
We're almost
one
done.
that you put in the, you put, heat up in the.
We're addicts.
You want one of those?
We don't think, we don't care.
I'll give you two.
And no matter how much you talk to us, something has to click. Something has to come together in our minds that we're done with this life of evil. What's out there for us? And how many people have been to programs? We fight the system. We fight this. We want it our way. But we can't get it our
Follow
way.
the directions carefully on the basket.
So what do we got? God. God's the only way. Learn something spiritual. Learn where all this, where man came from. God created us in his own image. He told us what to do. He gave us a better way of life. If we don't want it, we walk away. Everybody does. Sooner or later, you're going to find a spot. I hope to God you don't, that you make it through. People have lost their children through cancer, their grandparents. You lost your brother, like the brothers here. I've been through all that. And it hurts. It's sobriety. Before you take a bottle and drink it, drugs, to erase the thoughts of emotions. But you gotta fight it through it. You gotta go through it.